Howdy guys, my name is Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today is going to be another empties, and this is actually my biggest empties I think ever. I got this new bucket. Well, it's not really new to me, but I started putting the empties in here. I did have them in this janky, whatever this thing is, but I think this looks a little bit cooler. And this actually used to be my snack bucket in my office, and I'm kind of running out of snacks, so I decided to move it over here and use it for my empties. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I have a few de-stash items as well, stuff I just didn't want to deal with using up, so I may put those at the end, but I really don't know if I'm going to have any kind of order to these. Let me know in the comments if you prefer that empties videos kind of have an order to them, or like if I could make timestamps or something. That way if you're only interested in skincare or only in hair stuff, whatever. Actually, I think in this one I am going to include my makeup empties as well. The past few empties videos I haven't put makeup in them because I'm doing a project pan and I kind of had the makeup in the project pan, but if you don't watch those then you can watch these. So I'll put the makeup probably at the end. That way if you've already seen that in the project pan, you know what I mean. I'm going to stop rambling and let's get into it. So right on top is this very empty Alba Botanica Sport Sunscreen. This is SPF 45. Alba Botanica is pretty much the only sunscreen that I use. There are not too many options for cruelty-free sunscreens, but Alba Botanica I did find, I actually ran out of this like while I was at the beach this year. We went totally social distancing. We had a camper and everything with us, and the beach was really spread out, so it was really nice. I actually ran out of this like while we were there. I did not think that we would be there that much, but I have a tendency to burn, you know, when I get to the beach a lot. So I reapplied a ton and I needed to repurchase this again while we were there. And Walmart actually had Alba Botanica, which I thought was amazing because I think that was the only option they had for cruelty-free sunscreen. So, but I did like this. I only got slightly, like very just a little crispy when using this. So definitely a plus. Sometimes I get completely fried and blistered, and I only had just a little bit of redness on my shoulders, and then I had like a spot on my arm where I was holding on to the boogie board because I don't know how to swim very well, TBH, but I was holding on to the boogie board the whole time, and my arm kind of got a little red right here and a little bit on the back of my hand, but that was it. If I pick something up, it's all going to collapse in there. And then I have a Real Techniques sponge. So I had like 2 giant packs of these, and I'm kind of slowly going through them. I went through a little bit there where I wasn't using a sponge as much because I was trying to use up a stick foundation. And for whatever reason, for me, these don't really work for stick foundations. I prefer these Ecotools 360 brushes for stick foundation. So I am getting back into using these, and this one is kind of old. It's torn on the side, so I think that's was time for it to go. I have literally 5 of those left that I haven't touched yet, plus one that I'm using now, so I don't think I'm gonna run out anytime soon. But when I do, I might try a different brand because I'm pretty sure those are literally the only sponges I've ever used since I started doing makeup, because I just bought way too many of them one time at Ulta when they were on sale, and they've lasted me forever. And then I actually have a toothpaste. So toothpaste is another thing that's really hard to find a cruelty-free option for. This Hello brand is actually available at Kroger, and I have another kind from them. They actually just came out, I think, pretty recently with toothpaste tablets. So I've tried the Lush toothpaste tablets. I did not like those. I'm trying to use those up right now. But Hello came out with the tablets, and they are on Grove, which is a kind of like a subscription type service for like natural cruelty-free cleaning products, personal care. They even have some makeup and skincare on there now, and they just came out with those on there, so it's a really good option if you want them on like a subscription. I usually like their toothpaste in the black packaging that's got the charcoal and stuff, and I had this one. I don't know why I had this one. I guess maybe this was before I started trying the other ones. So funny story, I actually bought this, and my office used to be an absolute disaster because it was my room and my office. And I bought this and I lost it for like 6 months, and I found it again. So, but this one I do not like. This is a sweet mint. This is natural sweet mint. The sweet is like an understatement. This is disgustingly like xylitol, or what's that, like the fake sweetener stuff. I do not like this one at all. I prefer the charcoal one. And I actually finished up an eye cream. I know that takes forever to finish up an eye cream. I've had this for a long time. And a lot of times I forget to use it, but I do notice a difference with my under eyes, and especially even like with my, like I have hooded lids and they kind of look a little saggy sometimes. And I feel like this helps, not a ton. It doesn't look like you've had a facelift or anything, but it helps a little bit with the skin around that area. So I would definitely suggest an eye cream if you don't use one already. This one is, I'm actually using a different one now that I kind of like better than this one. So I'll let you know about that, but this one is a good option. It is pretty inexpensive. Did I say what this is? It's the Derma E Hydrating Eye Cream. And this is another fail. I have 2 of these Lime Crime Unicorn Hair tints. So these aren't their full strength dye, and this is their tint. Like, it's pretty diluted, I guess, with the color. So I talked about these in a haul review. These are both the same color, by the way. I just used it multiple times. And this was not good. And it actually, you can still kind of see it. It turned like a mint green. And this was supposed to be like a rose gold kind of with a little bit of brown. So how in the world it turned blue-green, I don't know. It didn't really do anything for my hair. There's a couple of videos, if you scroll back through like my thumbnails and my videos, you can kind of see it, but so don't bother with the tints, go with their actual dye. So this is the Pacifica Kale Water Micellar Water, and I like these. I prefer the coconut one though over the kale one. There's not like too much difference, but I feel like the coconut one works a little bit better somehow. I would repurchase the coconut one if I needed a micellar water. I have 2, I think 1.5 of these left, and then I also have another makeup remover that I prefer better, but I don't want to use that one all the time. Sometimes I just want a micellar water. It's a little bit more gentle, I suppose. Well, the other one's an oil cleanser, and I don't always feel like I need an oil cleanser, if that makes sense. If you didn't know, Pacifica will take back their empty bottles and recycle them for you. So go check on their website. They have the recycling program. You just let them know which products you're sending back, and then they'll send you like a prepaid shipping label, and you just mail it back to them and you get rewards points for their website, which is pretty cool. I think if I send back like one or 2 more boxes of empties, I should have enough to like get a pretty decent reward. The next thing here is this Manic Panic. This is just the developer for the bleach that I use. I didn't put the whole thing in here because it's a pretty big box. So I just put this in here to remind me that I use this up. And my hair's, I wonder why it's falling out. But this is the only, well, I've only tried one other bleach besides this, and this one is my favorite. I just think that these kind of go bad fast. I don't know. Like whenever I open them, the bottle is kind of like bloated like that, and then when I open it, it's like a pop. See, I just opened it again and it's kind of, I don't know why it does that. But I have a whole video about how I use this. I dilute it a little bit so it's not too powerful. So I'll link that below if I remember. But if you're interested in how I bleach my hair with actually less damage, like it probably should be worse than it is, but it's not too bad right now. And I also have another video about how I take care of my hair after I bleach it. Only a few more empties besides the makeup, and then I have some de-stash stuff. So this is the Ecotools Let's Detox Bamboo Charcoal Blotting Sheets. So these came in a Petit Four box, and I remember Regan HY talking about Ecotools a lot. They sell all different kinds of these little sheet things. Actually, this is gross, but I used one right here. And so these are like the charcoal paper. I really don't know if the charcoal actually does anything, but they have a whole bunch of different kinds of these. They have the blotting sheets, and they have some with like powder foundation on them, and some with blush on them, some with highlighter on them. And then they sell these cute little like vegan leather wallets that you can hold these in. But I don't know if I would, well, see, the thing is, these are a little bit more expensive, but I have been, like today I used the e.l.f. blotting sheets, and I just do this if I am putting on my makeup later in the day and I kind of already started to get greasy and I don't want to wash my face again. I know that's really lazy, but these e.l.f. ones, like I used today, I needed like 5 of these in comparison to probably only needing 1, maybe 2 of the Ecotools ones. So maybe these might be worth investing in. There are 60 sheets in the Ecotools one, and then the e.l.f. comes with 50, but they're pretty significantly different in price. So this is another fail. This is the Urac Feed Your Style Dry Shampoo. So the product itself is okay. Not my favorite dry shampoo, but it's decent. However, I really hate this packaging. I have one more like this I'm trying to use up. I just gave up on trying to use the pump and just unscrewed it and dumped it into my hand and put it on my hair that way because the pump is completely useless. Well, it's cool that it's not an aerosol and it doesn't have all of those chemicals in it. This is just a lot of wasted plastic and that doesn't work. Like you can, once you first start using it, you have to, it'll come out like a few little puffs here and there, but then you have to like shake the bottle, do a couple puffs and shake it. It takes forever to do. Like I could do my whole head 10 times faster with dry shampoo and like a shaker thing than I could with this. And you can't just like do that. You have to, sometimes I have to take my thumb and push down on it really hard to get it to come out because it just won't if you're being gentle with your finger. I don't like this. I will never buy dry shampoo in this format again. And I have one more that I'm hoping will be in my next empties because I don't want to deal with it. But the product itself in here though, this is a little bit gritty. It's a little bit of a thicker powder texture. So when I put it in my hair, I kind of do that. I can feel the granules of it, but it works. It controls the oil. So it's kind of an okay product, but the packaging sucks. This is actually a good product. So I did a whole review video of Meow Meow Tweet. I'll link that below as well if I can remember. And this was my favorite product out of that whole video of all the stuff that I tried. This is the Lemon Rose Cleansing Oil. 3 to 4 pumps of this took off all of my makeup. It takes off this brow product that I also did a review video of, but this is the Inked Brow from Urban Decay, and this takes that off. It takes off waterproof mascara. Literally anything that you need to take off, it'll take it off. Prefer this over a micellar water most of the time. However, sometimes if I just have light makeup on or I don't want to deal with trying to like scrub it all over and then you have to wait for the water to heat up because it removes easier with hot water. So what I'll do with this is I will get a damp washcloth or a cloth wipe and just wipe it off after I'm done cleansing, rubbing it in and everything, because it does not come off if you just rinse your face. Some oil cleansers do that, I think. This is the only one that I've tried, but I've heard that other ones will wash off with water, but this one does not. So you need something to like actually wipe it off with. And this is I believe this is the smallest size you can get, but you can also order from them a big refill size, which is what I'm going to do pretty soon, which the refill size is like 50 bucks, but you can refill this several times with that. So I think it's worth it. And it comes in an aluminum bottle and you can send that back to them for them to reuse indefinitely. So I really like that's kind of like a closed loop system where you can send it back. It's not like Pacifica, which I love their recycling program, but it's not a closed loop thing because you do lose some plastic when you recycle it. However, when you are repurposing and reusing something, it's far less waste. Also from Meow Meow Tweet, this is the Sweet Orange Neroli Body Oil. This was okay. However, I think body oil, you have to use so much of it to do anything, like to get anywhere with it. So I don't know for sure if I would repurchase this. I know definitely I'll get the cleansing oil, but this body oil, it was nice. But I just feel like I have to use so much of it. And I only use this maybe a few times, like not even 5 or 6 times. I don't know if that's like economical to use that much, but I don't even put it on my whole body. I just put it mostly on like my tattoos and my hands and like where I shave my legs and stuff, and that's pretty much it. And it takes a ton. Alright, now onto the makeup products I've used up, and then we'll go into the stuff that I'm just getting rid of. First thing in here is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Fair 8. So again, I talked about the makeup stuff in my Project Pan update, but this one I took the stopper thing out of, and then I used this little spatula thing to scrape it all out. And I would not repurchase the Colourpop Concealer #1 because I think Colourpop is kind of problematic and wasteful. If you haven't seen that documentary series called Broken on Netflix, I think the makeup was the first episode, and like Marlena from Makeup Geek was in it, and they talked about Colourpop and like the fake cosmetic stuff. Colourpop is just, they just drive me insane with how much they produce. It's not a bad product, but there's just like not much in here. And also the shade range is kind of like, they go pretty deep with their shade, which I think is good. But I have the first 3 shades. I could probably use like the first maybe 5 or 6 shades and be okay. And then just the day before yesterday, I think I used up this Anastasia stick foundation. This was the shade Warm Ivory. So that is all that's left. There's a tiny bit left, but I am not going to bother trying to scrape it out or anything. I just kind of, with these kind of products, I just go until it's like scraping my skin when I apply it. This was not my favorite foundation. It was a little bit too dark and it didn't last very long. It kind of started to separate. And it was really hard to apply too. Like I said before, I couldn't use my sponge with it. I had to use a brush, which I don't prefer for foundation. And I think this is discontinued anyways, so I'm not repurchasing it. I have the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is a really good setting spray. I am going to try because I have a backup of this that I already bought and started using, but I am going to try to do a video like comparing if setting spray actually does anything, like kind of try to spray like only one side of my face and see if it makes the makeup actually last longer. However, I do, even though if it doesn't work that way, I do like using a setting spray because it just makes the makeup look better. So like on my skin, I am like dry, oily combo kind of mixture of everything. I feel like foundation and stuff looks better as I wear it throughout the day because my natural oil comes through and it makes it look a little bit better and not so cakey, and this kind of speeds that along, I feel like, so, and it makes it not so powdery. And the last makeup thing is this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I've gone through so many of these and I'm in the shade Taupe. And I mentioned in every video, in case you haven't seen it, I always suggest to break open your brow pencils. So this is it came apart, so it has this little, there's a little thing below the cap where it comes apart. And this white piece is what holds the product. And there's still even more in there, but that's not enough for me to use even one time. But usually there's about that much more in there. Like even after you think you've twisted it all the way up and used it all, there's still more, so definitely crack them open. I usually get about a week more out of a brow pencil that way. Alright, now onto the stuff that I just am getting rid of. So was the Movis, I'm pretty sure it was the Movis facial soap from Lush. I cut it, it was one big piece, but I cut it apart to travel with it because it was pretty big. And I just do not, it just doesn't work. Like I've heard people say they love this and it just doesn't do anything for me. Like I'll scrub and scrub and scrub my face, I'll rub it in my hands to get the lather up. It doesn't do anything. So I don't know. I tried and tried and tried. I tried it several times, different ways. Didn't do anything. I'm just not going to use it anymore. One more from Lush. This is the Amazon Primer Solid Facial Moisturizer, I think it was called. And this was like an oval, but I used up about half of it. And I just did not like this at all. So I went into the store and I'm never the kind of person to like ask for help at the store, you know what I mean? Like I don't want anybody to talk to me. If I can make it in and out of the store without speaking to a soul, that's perfect. But Lush, it's really hard to do that because they're a little bit pushy. But this one actually just kind of, she was asking me and she seemed nice. I was like, okay, fine. I just was looking for a moisturizer and there was between this one and another one. She kind of showed me this one. She was like, yeah, it's a little bit mattifying, so it's better if you have oily skin. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll try that. And this, I've used it a few times, but I've noticed I notice it more if I'm not wearing makeup that day. It's that mattifying part of it, whatever's in here, or whatever kind of like, I don't know, rice flour or something that makes it mattifying. It just after a little while on my skin, it just feels kind of gritty and gross. So I am not that big of a fan of this. And it didn't melt I'm holding it in my hand just fine. But the other like solid lotion type, like this would be sliding all over the place if I held it for that long. This one, it's not even melting. So last thing in here, this was a big fail. I got this on clearance at Target, obviously. This is the Pacifica SPF 30 Mineral Bronzing Sunscreen in the Blood Orange scent. I don't know what I was thinking, so this might be partially my fault for buying this. I just kind of thought that it would be like shimmery or something, but this is literally like a fake tan, but it doesn't last. So we went to, like I mentioned earlier with the Alba sunscreen, we went to the beach and I put this on. I started with my legs, thankfully, and this is just like literally a fake tan. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Which I am thankful that it wasn't orange because some products like that are really orange, but this was more of like an olivey tone, which was okay. But I put it on like just on my legs. Well, I did one leg and I was like, well, I can't just not put it on the other leg and have my legs two different colors. So I put it on the other one and that and we went in the ocean and I tried to like scrub it off. I tried to take like sand and scrub it off my legs. It went so patchy. I did not bother reapplying this product over top of it. I reapplied a different sunscreen because this just went patchy and goopy, and you can tell there was like streaks left. But when I first applied it, it was fine. It wasn't too streaky if you kind of blend it out a little bit. But this was just, no. No, don't buy this. Pacifica has some really good products. This is not one of them. So that was it for my massive cruelty-free and vegan empties. Again, I didn't mention earlier, but all these products are cruelty-free and vegan. So let me know if you've tried any of these products or if you have the same kind of feelings as I do. I feel like I had a lot of not so good products in this one. Usually I have a lot of good ones. You can click up here to watch my most recent video or click up here to watch my last empties. I have some different things in there. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss seeing my face in your subscription box every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, sometimes Sundays at noon Eastern time. It's my social media and everything else will be linked in the description box, and I will see you guys in the comments. Bye.